Are you at your wits' end trying to figure out how to format a conversation on paper? Don't worry, we've got your back. Welcome to Dialogue Formatting Part 1, a teacher helper video by me, Ashley Marshall. In this video, we're going to look at using quotation marks, what direct speech is, and what speech tags are. Let's go. If you're doing a dialogue and you think it's supposed to look like this, you know, with the names of the people speaking on the left-hand side, you're doing it wrong. This is a script, and you want to avoid this at all costs. This excerpt from the novel Jane Eyre is what your dialogue is supposed to look like. We'll break down the steps as we go. First and foremost, dialogue requires these things: quotation marks. Quotation marks identify direct speech. Direct speech is someone's exact words. I repeat, someone's exact words. For example, if someone said, "Teacher helper, can you explain dialogue formatting?" Well, teacher helper, can you explain dialogue formatting is that person's exact words. There's other stuff here if someone said, "That's something else." We'll get into that in a moment. Quotation marks always come in pairs, and it doesn't really matter what you make them look like. Now, when we say they come in pairs, we mean this. Teacher helper, can you explain dialogue formatting? You can see that there are open quotation marks here and closed quotation marks here. In fact, it's kind of like pairs of pairs. When formatting dialogue, be sure not to restart quotation marks for each sentence of direct speech. Look here. Dave remarked, "I don't like the way he did that. Surely there's a better way." Do you notice in the middle of the sentence that there are quotation marks that look like this? If ever you have this on screen, you're doing it wrong. It's supposed to look like this. Because Dave said more than one sentence, we don't need to stop and start the quotation marks every time that there is a period, a question mark, or an exclamation mark. We just have the open quotation marks at the beginning of Dave speaking and closed quotation marks at the end of Dave speaking. Direct speech always begins with a capital letter. As you can see in the sample here, the words are, just, and sure have capital letters. And even if the direct speech isn't at the beginning of the sentence, like this example here, Jim said, "It's a lovely day." The word "it's" is capitalized because it is the beginning of direct speech. And direct speech always ends with punctuation. Now, if you're wondering what type of punctuation, you're going to have to tune into Dialogue Formatting Part 2. Similar to when you go shopping and just before you purchase a garment, you always look at that little tag that's got a bunch of important information. Dialogue also has tags. We call them speech tags. They look like this. I said, he replied, they yelled, she asked, and then a multitude of a number of little phrases like this that tell you who is speaking and how they're speaking. There's some specific rules about speech tags and how to use them. Speech tags are not used in scripts. They have all the words listed on the side as we showed here, and for our purposes, that's incorrect. We want speech tags to make our dialogue look like this. But we don't need to use them with every single line of dialogue. Like, look at this sample here. Jen asked, "May I go to the movies with my friends tonight?" "Not on a school night, dear," her mother answered. "You're so unfair. I never get to do anything fun." We can see a speech tag here at the beginning, Jen asked, and also her mother answered. But we don't have a speech tag here at the end. Why not? Well, the purpose of speech tags is to indicate who is speaking. And in this dialogue here, it's obvious that the person saying "you're so unfair" is not the mother, but in fact, the teenager Jen. So we didn't need to put another speech tag in here. It simply wasn't required. You can imagine speech tags are very, very important when you have a number of people in one conversation. Imagine we had 5 girlfriends all sitting around talking and chatting and gossiping. It would be hard on paper to keep track of who is saying what about whom and who's laughing and who's angry if we didn't have speech tags. It would be so frustrating for us. So in order to move from frustration to joy, we need speech tags. In this video, we've looked at using quotation marks, what direct speech is, and what speech tags are. If you're interested in knowing how dialogue is supposed to look on the page, how to use speech tags, and how to punctuate dialogue properly, you need to check out Dialogue Formatting Part 2, another teacher helper video by me, Ashley Marshall. Ooh, look, a subscribe button. A like us on Facebook button. Go on, click the links. I know you want to. You like doing that sort of stuff. Go ahead, subscribe, and find us on Facebook.